Blood vibes. Yes, family, large up yourself. So we outside. Yes, family. Where it said create a gang. There's a new sheriff on the block. And we outside. It's a blood clot vibe. Gang TV in the building, you already nizzle. You know what I mean? Shalom, shalom. Peace to the righteous gods and Naravinian goddesses. You know what I mean? Salute. Hoping everybody having a blessed day. Give me a one in the chat if you can hear me clearly. Let me know if I'm coming through clear on there. You know what I mean? Because I was sounding like garbage on my drone yesterday. Because I ain't have my mic set at the right preset. Zachary Yahoo, what's good, family? I see you, King. Just came from walking the dogs at the park, yo. Just came from the park. You know what I mean? Get that exercise in real quick. You know how we do. Walk my little man eaters. All right, I see the ones coming in. Sounding good. Peace to the fam. What it do, family? Yahweh, I see you. Peace to the righteous God, Yahweh. Yo, Yahweh, I'm going to be in Miami in October, son. I'm going to be out there, yo. You know, Caribbean thing that, you know, Caribbean vibes, you know. Carnival and them things there, buddy. Subscribe to the Creator Gang Chat TV. Shout out to Honor and Humility. You know what I mean? Shout out to the God Malachi Maccabee. Shout out to the God Cosmon Cal. Shout out to the God Daryl Cosmon. Shout out to Yogi. Shout out to my nigga Dreadful Cosmon out there having a great time at the Jazz Fest out in Cali. You know what I mean? Shout out to the sisters. You know what I mean? Jamia. Shout out to Tikva. All the sisters, you know what I mean? Pam, putting that pain every morning, still doing her thing. Create a gang in the building. You know how I like to start. Where you say Lucy? I see Lucy in the building in the background. I'm going to chill out, yo. That's a dope thing about the Creator Gang, the Creator family, or the Faithist family. We all diverse in our thinking. Nobody thinks alike. Everybody has their own, you know what I mean, ways of doing things. You dig? Let me learn the rhythm run for a quick second while I dump this tobacco. I'm back, yes. It's a blood clot vibes, yes, family. Peace to the Queen Jamia. I see you in the building. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Creator Gang is on the move. We on the rise, yo. Shout out to Quina for having us on this platform yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I hopped on pretty late. I had to do some things, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, we got on there, did our thing. Shout out to Malachi Maccabee, standing firm, standing strong, letting niggas know. You step out of line, nigga, we gonna bring that smoke. But nonetheless, Joe, was a pretty good build outside the chaos that JJ7000 brings. We ain't mad at you, nigga. I ain't got no hate for nobody, yo. To me, I'm comfortable. My spiritual self is good. I'm not worried about no being cast in hell. And if I say this and go against God, I'm gonna get thrown in the lake of fire. And man, we good over here, man. We passed the childish beliefs. Or if you do that, God gonna catch you in hell, boy. We passed that. We talk about delivering people out of hell while you being feared of being cast in it. While you being feared of cast in it, nigga, we going in headlong to deliver those lost souls in hell. So we come as mature adults, men and women. You know what I mean? You don't see no childish shit going on over here, no niggas having debates about rape and all that stupid shit. We don't do that. We passed that. We'll entertain it though. We'll entertain low-hanging fruit because sometimes low-hanging fruit got to get picked. You know, when you're looking at the mango tree, it got the good mango up there, but you got the low-hanging mango. You know what I mean? These are the low-hanging fruits, man. We pick these niggas apart. You know, first, they try to catch. You know, I was telling niggas, I said, yo, God is a man. The nigga tried to say, this was JJ, I think, but what does man mean in Hebrew? I said, ish. Ish, there's no way, they don't say ish when it's da-da-da-da. And I showed them, let us make man ish after our image and likeness. So the image of ish man is after the image of God. Easily cut. That's something like, man, y'all niggas got to come better than this, King. I ain't trying to be funny, man. It's like, where the competition at? Last night was a fucking easy sweep. Everybody got clinked last night, man, through the confusion. See what I'm saying? Through the confusion, that shit got swept. That's right, cleared the block. Blah! Niggas cleared the block. Yeah, man. We cleared the block, my family. So what else? What else niggas was talking about, man? What else niggas got cut on last night? Oh, the nigga tried to use the white. I told y'all. I told niggas, don't play the race card game with me. I'm just as black as the blackest of the blacks. Black nationalists. Yeah, nigga, I'm all that. That ain't the issue. Y'all niggas is worrying about why did the creator deliver this revelation of the OAHSPE to a white man? Did you ever think to go to your God and ask? The Bible says God is not a respecter of person, but then they'll go find a verse saying, oh, well, he shewed his word to Jacob and Israel. And come on, man. Let's stop playing games, yo. The nigga tried to use the white man card. Why would he use John Newbro, a European, to bring out the revelation? As we said, God is not a respecter of person. But then to put the nail in the coffin, I said, if that's the case, according to the book of Enoch, what color was Noah? White as snow, the whitest of snow. So why would God deliver a message to a man that is whiter than snow, is whiter than the European? The European is not white as snow. They describe Noah as white as snow, right? But here's the catcher. They also said that Noah had locks. See that? But if you want to play the skin color game, we can play the skin color game because now you got to explain why Snow White Noah, how did Snow White Noah produce black ass ham? That's what you got to explain. Since you want to play the race card game, right? How can a white ass snow, whiter than the whitest European, which is Noah, produce a jet black African Hamite nigga? You got to explain that. If you want to play the race card game with me, these are my rebuttals towards your answer. Because when you ask me that, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, the white man came, the creator, the angels, they came to this white man and gave him the revelation. Boom, it's here. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You can get as mad as Esau got at Jacob when Jacob told Esau to sell him his birthright, and he came back and realized he stole a blessing. You can get as mad as Esau about it, but it ain't gonna change. Did Isaac change his mind with the blessing? Did he say, you know what? Oh man, he tricked my son. No, nigga, it is what it was. Esau had to eat that. The same way you niggas got to eat the fact that a European came with a revelation that's smoke in your Bible, nigga. If you want to play the race card game. And then Who else got cut? Man, there was so much going on. I'm trying to keep up. Oh, like we kept proving that they God is a man. You know what I mean? We kept proving that. We showed that. They tried to put us on the hot seat, but they wasn't asking good questions. They was asking low-hanging fruit questions. What, like JJ was saying, what is the difference between, wow, who is Jehovah? I'm like, nigga, you're arguing a letter. You're arguing one letter. An A that was switched to an I. Now you're trying to say this is a whole different entity. You niggas is crazy. Tomato, tomato. That's what you arguing. You're arguing over vowels, alphabets, and letters. That's your strongest hold. Well, there was no J in Hebrew. Nigga, we passed that. That's elementary. I'd rather follow a J in Hebrew than follow a God that's telling you niggas to kill off infants. Which one is worse, following a J in Hebrew or following a God that's killing infants? See the playing ground? See how we level the playing ground and then up the playing ground on you niggas? We up the score by saying your God is a devilish God by killing infants? Yeah, I'll take the J of Jehovah. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take the fact that John knew, bro, the white man came and wrote the I'll take that. But your God is out here telling you niggas to kill infants and sucklings by the breast. 1 Samuel 15:3. This is your God, Israel. Now, if your God commanded you to do that today, would you do it? See, we clear from that because we know better. We adults over here. We're not immature children like you all. You still confounded. You don't know if your Lord was to come to you today and tell you to slay men. You don't know what you'll do. You'll wake up and be confused. Because in one breath, you say, that ain't right. But in another breath, you saw that damn, that was the voice of the Lord telling me. How many people is locked up behind jail in jail now because a voice told them to kill something? A voice told them to say, kill that motherfucker. I am the God. I am the Lord. I am a God of war. Kill, kill, kill. If your God come and do that today, what you gonna do, Israel? Our Creator, through the righteous, true God of heaven and earth, is telling us, like, nah, don't kill, because these are the consequences that come with it. You can do it, but this is the consequences that come with it. Let me inform you about the consequences so you'll know that if you really want to do this or not. So if your biblical God informed you of the consequences of the spiritual condition dealing with war, you won't do it. If you knew that you could take up a gun and go shoot somebody and end up getting caught and do the rest of your life in jail, you ain't gonna do that. Nigga, the U.S. government got more power than your God. Because if you was to go out there slaying shit right now, you going to jail. And your God ain't gonna come deliver you out of jail. Although the voice in your head said, I am God, go kill, kill, kill. And then when you go do that, your ass get locked up and he ain't know where to deliver your monkey ass. That's you niggas. That's what y'all got to deal with. He used sight. Yeah, let's get that. Let's get that, Mally. Let's get that. Let's get Isaiah 45:1. Niggas want to talk about he only revealed his word to Jacob and Israel. Let's get Isaiah 45:1. Let me get that real quick, my brother. Where we at with it? Hold up. You know I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake. Niggas better come correct when they debate me, boy. I ain't one of them niggas you could just say, you could say some shit and just get away with it. Nah, nigga. I pay attention to motherfucking shit. My strategy game is on a whole nother level. You see how I beat up Cornell and them boys yesterday? Beat them boys up. Left JJ looking stupid. Where does it say God is a man? God said, let us make man after our image. So if man is being created in the image of God, what would that make that God? A man. Y'all niggas is low-hanging fruit. Check this. Where we at with it? Let's share my rod to the screen, you know. Now look at this. Look at this. This is Isaiah 45:1. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus. Hold up. Let's stop. Cyrus? Who the fuck is Cyrus? Let's click Cyrus, see what we get. What'd that say? From the Persians. Persian? Cyrus means what? Possess thou the furnace. What does Cyrus? Look, the king of Persia and conqueror of Babylon, first ruler of Persia to make a decree allowing the Israelites exiled to return to Jerusalem. What you niggas is talking about, you the chosen people, when your God is allowing a foreigner, for you niggas to get permission to return back to Jerusalem. What are you talking about? What chosen people? Right now, God has chosen Cyrus to allow you niggas to go back to Jerusalem. The only reason you went back to build the second temple was because of Cyrus, a Persian. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Now let's go back to the verse. Because these niggas is done for. What the verse say now? Let's take the Strong's quote. Now that we know that Cyrus is a Persian. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, the Persian, Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden. Wait a minute. The nigga said, whose right hand who is I, the Lord, have holden, to subdue nations before him. And I will loose the loins of kings to open before him. The two leave the gates, and the gates shall not be shut. This is your God, a Persian, who got the permission from your Lord for you niggas to return back to Jerusalem. Look what that shit said in the Strongs. Boy, y'all niggas is looking bad. And then he said to his anointed. What does anointed mean? What that say? What that say? Messiah. Cyrus was looked at as a Messiah to your Lord, Israel. What the hell you niggas talking about? Look what that say. What that say? Messiah, used twice. What that say? Anointed. Anointed one. Messiah. Look. King of Israel. If Cyrus is anointed by the Lord, and Cyrus is giving you permission to return back to Jerusalem to rebuild, that nigga is the king over Israel. At that time, look, Cyrus. It even got Cyrus in the definition of the synonymous of anointed. So y'all shot y'all foot in the self with that one. You can't come to me talking about no chosen nothing. Because we found the verse where your Lord chose a Persian. A Persian ain't an Israelite. And look what the second verse say. I will go before. Hold up. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in asunder the bars of iron. Look at that. I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. This is what your Lord is telling Cyrus. He says, I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which call thee by thy name, am the God of Israel. See that? He's letting you know, yeah, I'm that same God of Israel, but I'm anointing you. So you're trying to tell me that the Lord couldn't pick nobody out of Israel to be anointed? He chose Cyrus the king. And look what it says. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel my elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, through thou hast not known me. Now look, he says, look what here. And here's another cut. There is none else. Now let me get this. There is no God beside me. Let me go ahead and cut that up real quick. There's no God beside me. Right? Ain't no God beside him. Y'all know where I'm going. I'm surgical with this bitch. I already told niggas. What this say? God stands in the congregation of the mighty. He judges among the gods. He judges among the gods. There is no God beside me. He judges among the gods. There is no God besides me. He judges among the gods. See that? See that? If there is no God beside you, you can't be judging gods. But of course, you know they're going to find a wiggle room and a wiggle way out of that. But they can't because it's written. Selah. You know what I mean? So we cut them on that. That, yeah, your Lord did choose Cyrus. God used Cyrus. See that? Plain as day. Oh, you know, God could use whoever he, if God could use whoever he wants, then why can't he use John Newbo to write the OAHSPE? Niggas had a hard problem digesting that. You know what I mean? Exactly. Psalms, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Look at that backdrop. Look at that. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. He said, sit on my right. If there's nobody supposed to be besides him, who's sitting on his right hand? Ain't Jesus supposed to be sitting on his right hand too? Come on, man. So we cut niggas up in that department. What's some other departments we cut them up last night on? When I said that God is a man, and then what's his name? Apostle went to the Strong's Concordance. He went to Elohim and tried to be slick because I told him to click the root word. But he ain't want to click the root word because his ass was gonna get cut to death. These is little niggas to me. You were elder, but y'all is little niggas. I'm seasoned in this truth. Like Malachi and us, nigga, we've been in this shit over 13, 14 years and longer. And you nigga just came into the truth in the fucking new millennium. Fuck out of here. 2010 ass niggas, man. You think some 2010 ass niggas gonna take a nigga who been doing this shit since the 90s? Nah, bro. So this is what Apostle did. He went to God. He went to Elohim. And I was telling him to click this right here. The root word. I kept saying, hit the root word, which is this right here. He ain't want to do it. He wanted to come down here and read how many times the word is used in the text. Judges 5 times. God 1 time. God is 2 times. Great. And that angel 1 time. He want to go there. But then when I told him to click the root word, which if he would have did this, if he would have clicked the root word, I would have said, scroll down, and you would have seen false God right here. You would have seen false God right there. And then I would have told him to continue the rule. Because look, it's another primary. See, he don't even understand Hebrew. He don't understand the child root word, the primary root. He don't understand that shit. He probably even know what I was talking about when I said click the root word. If you would have clicked the root word, it's gonna in Hebrew, the way it's broke down is that you got a word. You got the root word, which is the foundational word. And then these words, it's words stacked on top of that root word that are called child words. See, I knew all this when I was studying and reading Hebrew at the time. I knew this shit. That's why I know a nigga don't, anytime a nigga tell y'all about uppercase and lowercase, them niggas never studied Hebrew. Because in Hebrew, there is no upper and lowercase. So you got to deal with the text as is. You can't come with a Hebrew mind state and then come with a goddamn English uppercase, lowercase, knowing that's not in the Hebrew. If you see Lord in Hebrew, it's going to be this. If you see Lord in all capital letters and you see Lord in all lowercase letters, when you translate that in Hebrew, it's going to be the exact same thing. It's going to be the exact same word. And then it's going to be different definitions because that's the workings of the scribes. So if you were to click the primary root word, which is L, you see what it says? L, right? And when you scroll down, it's going to say what? Men. See that? Mighty men. Men of rank. See that? So that's how your man would have got crushed. Angels. They even got demons synonymous with your shit. Imaginations. And even worse, God, the one true God, Jehovah. You see how blasphemous they did Jehovah? They turned Jehovah into a deity. The one true God, Jehovah. Now watch this from the OAHSPE. You know where we going with it. You know where we going. Watch this. Quick fast. Quick fast. Quick fast. Where we at with it? Where we at with it? The bigger discipline. Boom. Quick fast. What did I say? Quick fast. What did I say? God and Jehovah are not the same one. What did I say? God and Jehovah are not the same one. What does Strong's Concordance say? What does Strong's Concordance say? God, the one true God, Jehovah. What does Strong's Concordance say? God, I mean, what the OAHSPE say God and Jehovah are not the same one. God, the one true God, Jehovah. God and Jehovah are not the same one. So if God and Jehovah are not the same one, how did a God become Jehovah? How did God become Jehovah? Watch this. Watch how OAHSPE clears this shit up. How did God become Jehovah? How did Jehovah become God? That's the question. How did the Creator become a deity? That's the question. That's the question. Right? Watch this. Watch this. Cut and draw. Look how cut and draw when I'm about to read this shit is. Watch this. Look what this verse say. The basis of the OAHSPE, basis of the Ezra Bible, chapter 26. Verse 26. But in the 397th year, the gods, Baal, Ashtaroth, triumphed through their familiar spirits and caused the Israelites to anoint a king to rule over them. This king was called Saul, signifying of the Lord God. Now here's the catch. You gotta pay attention because these niggas don't read. Look what it says. This is the key word. This one word is key. Prior, meaning before Saul, before Baal, before Ashtaroth. It says, look, 397 years. Prior to 397 years, the Israelites, look, the Israelites acknowledge no God, no Lord. Stop there. So prior to this, prior to the belief that God and Jehovah are one and the same, even the OAHSPE is letting you know that the Israelites acknowledge no God or Lord. But look what your Bible says. God, the one true God, Jehovah. What the OAHSPE say? The Israelites acknowledge no God or Lord. And look what it say next. But covenanted with the great spirit, Eoah. See that? Eoah. They're letting you know it's a difference between following a God and following the great spirit, Eoah, which is Yahweh, Hawa, Jehovah. However you want to play with the words, however you want to say it in Greek, Latin, and English, it doesn't matter. Y'all niggas say God, God, God. I don't hear niggas saying El Elohim all the time. So we're not going to play them games. So again, prior, let's read that from the prior. Prior to this, the Israelites acknowledged no God or Lord, but covenanted with the great spirit Eoah. The name Eoah had been kept secret. That's why you niggas don't know it. With the fathers, and the commandments were announced from the Gadol Ruach Ayin, the great spirit. See that? Now look. Now keep in mind, in your Strong's Concordance, God, Jehovah, is associated with God. God, the one true God, Jehovah. And we was questioning, how did God become Jehovah? How did the creator, Jehovah, become a deity? Now look at this. Here go the sellouts. The familiar spirits now inspired Saul to change the words of the commandments to the Lord, Adonai, your God, El, as a what? Conciliatory strategy to please the nations. Hoe ass nigga, sell out, Uncle Tom ass nigga. To please the nation. He's trying to please the tribes around him. To please the nations and tribes of people who worshipped Baal, Dagon, Ashtaroth, Haggah, and other gods, lords of the lower heavens, these low-hanging fruit gods. So you got Israelites who was once worshiping the creator, now has associated with the creator with one of these lesser deities known as Baal, Dagon. And y'all know about these deities, Israel, because it's shown that you was worshiping these gods, especially Baal. That's the Canaanite deity. So the OAHSPE is letting you know what happened and how the transition came of you worshiping these deities. Now look at verse 28. In that way, Lord God, you don't even know Lord God is in reference to a land God, because your God is running all over the land of Israel, destroying, doing this, doing that. You don't never hear about God doing nothing in heaven in the Bible. He on the earth messing with humans. 1 Samuel chapter 15:3, he's inspiring the Israelites to kill off the Canaanites. He on the earth. Judges chapter 20, he's inspiring the Benjamites to kill off to war with the house of Israel. He on earth. We don't never see God being glorious in the heavens. He always on earth doing some bloodshed according to the Bible. Verse 28, in that way, Lord God, in parentheses, land God, was substituted for Jehovah. See that? Key word right here is substitute. We want to know, how did God, the one true God, Jehovah, become a deity? Because the definition of Jehovah and the definition of God is not synonymous with each other. God is the deity. Jehovah means to become, to exist. Two different meanings. But now you have associated the creator with the deity. Now, to become a deity, to exist as a deity, is your reality of your God. So you substituted creator for a land God, a tribal God. In that way, Lord God, land God, was substituted for Jehovah, called secretly Eoah. See that? And as prior, now see, there go that word again. There go that key word again. Prior, as I stated earlier, prior to this. Now listen to what the prior is saying. Listen to what the prior is saying. Prior to this, the Great Spirit had been taught to the Israelites as what? As what? An inconceivable entity. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. It says the Israelites acknowledged the creator as an inconceivable entity, meaning that you can't comprehend it, you can't see it. But you see God. You speak to God. You wrestled with God now in your Bible. But the Israelites at one time knew that you could not be a creator and talking about you wrestled with God. You seen God. God is walking in the midst of the garden. No. The Israelites at one time didn't accept that belief. And we're trying to bring that back to Israel, to bring back the fact that the creator is an inconceivable entity. But look what happened. Keep in mind, the key word here is prior. Let me come back to the prior. Prior to this, the Great Spirit had been taught to the Israelites as an inconceivable entity, whose form and extent no man could attain to know. See that? Let's stop right there. Again, this shit is damn near line for line. Whose form and extent no man could attain to know. See that? You niggas talking about you seeing God. Moses went up on a mountain talking about he spoke to God and got the commandments written with the finger of God. While here in the OAHSPE, it says that the Israelites understood that the creator was one whose form and extent no man could attain to know. So if you can't know the extent or the form of the creator, how are you going to tell me a nigga walked up a mountain and spoke to the creator when the OAHSPE is clearing this shit up? And this is the beef in the house of Israel now. We're showing you that the creator is an inconceivable entity while you niggas are still holding on to the fact that he's a man of war. Whose form and extent no man could attain to know. Now let me piggyback and catch a precept to that real quick. Watch this precept to that real quick. Watch this. Where the precept to that? Watch this. Precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, right? Watch this, chapter verse 6. Look at this. Neither is there any angel in heaven so high nor sufficiently wise to what? Comprehend Jehovah in his entirety. Look what it says. Right here, let me get that. Neither is there any angel in heaven so high nor sufficiently wise to comprehend Jehovah in his entirety. What did the OAHSPE say over here? What did it say? Whose form and extent no man could attain to know. What did it say? Neither is there any angel in heaven so high nor sufficiently wise to comprehend Jehovah in his entirety. What the concept of the Israelites was at one point? Whose form and extent no man could attain to know. You can't see the creator, right? And here's the catcher, nor to see him as you see your fellow man, whose form and extent no man could attain to know, nor to see him as you see your fellow man. See that? You can't put creator in a box. And the OAHSPE is claiming that the Israelites once understood this before you niggas started following a god of war and going on a destructive path. So was it now transformed and declared, all right, so was he, meaning the creator, now transformed and declared to be what? In the form of a man and having a residence in heaven. Thus they made the great spirit merely an idol. And so they began the overthrow of the holy doctrine of Moses. What was the holy doctrine of Moses? The holy that the creator was an inconceivable entity whose form and extent no man could attain to know. The greatest blasphemy is to create an image of the creator. And this is exactly what you niggas did. You created idols of your God. Now let's read that verse in entirety. In that way, Lord God, land God, was substituted, meaning changed, for Jehovah, called secretly Eoah. And as prior to this, the Great Spirit had been taught to the Israelites as an inconceivable entity whose form and extent no man could attain to know, so was he now transformed and declared to be in the form of a man. This is why niggas don't want to come against the OAHSPE chapter and verse, because OAHSPE is showing you both sides of the coin. It's showing you when the Israelites acknowledge a creator, and it's showing you how it got transformed and they started worshiping the man in the image. You worshiping God, who you think is the creator, in the image of man. Thus they made the Great Spirit merely an idol. And so they began the overthrow of the holy doctrine of Moses, right there in your Bible. I mean, in the OAHSPE is telling you this. It's showing you that who you think that this guy is, God standing in the congregation of the mighty, he judges among the gods, you thinking that this creator. Not knowing that this is a deity who fooled you to believe that these are the creator. See, you got to understand the king. You got to understand the system and order of creator. Nigga was cooking without the screen. Nigga was cooking without the screen. Let's go piggyback. Let's go piggyback. God and Jehovah. God, the one true Jehovah. God, the one true God, Jehovah. We showing that it's not the same. Nor to see him as you see your fellow man. Huh? Can't see Jehovah like you see your fellow man. Well, I just read that. Y'all caught the spirit. But check it. They God is a man, family. Ain't no way around that. Now, this is supposed to be your most high. That's supposed to be your most high. Right? That's supposed to be your most high. L. Mighty men. Men of rank. Now, men is plural. Angels is plural. So they're mixing plurality with supposed to be a one-time God. A monotheistic deity. Come on, man. Give me a one in the chat if y'all getting this understanding, although I forgot to share the screen, but I was spitting and delivering so you get the gist. Beat them up on that. And another thing that Cosma said that let me clear something up. And yesterday Cosma said the book of Safar. Excuse me, that's a good ass bug. Woo. All right, get that. Let me get that. Now, yesterday, Cosmon brought up the book of Safar, and then Cosmon said Safar is a Hebrew word, and the apostle was like, no, that's not. The Hebrew word is such and such. Well, little did apostle know was that Safar is a Hebrew word. See that? It's in the Strong's Concordance, 8193. And Safar means just what he said. It means speech, lip. So he didn't know that, and everything is, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. Everything is a learning curve. But Safar is a Hebrew word, to clear that up. And it means speech, lip, edge. You see that? Safar. It's a feminine noun. From an unusual word, definition, lip, speech. So when Cosmo was saying it's the book of tongues, the book of speech, that's what he was referring to. You know what I mean? So we just don't be saying shit just to be saying shit, nigga. We back it up. You know what I'm saying? The book of Safar. You know what I mean? Yeah, boy, that's some goody good. This just looks like a miniature Christmas trees, King. Yeah, yo. What else can you get, bro? I done forgot. I didn't even go back and look at it, man. I done cleared the block and, kept it moving. Niggas living, we living rent free in some niggas' heads. We came and showed Jacob's God as a man, yep, and an angel first, yep. We also showed Jacob in the fight, yeah. God is a man. God is an angel. Let me go to my doc. My presentation I would have had for the boy if he would have took that debate, but God is a goddamn man, an angel. Go to it. Now watch this. This is part of my presentation. See, that's the good thing about having these presentations. You could always bring them up in any circumstances. A debate presentation to rebuttal a nigga. So check it. What that say? What is an angel? Now we in the Hebrew. An angel, malach, right? And what is an angel? Messenger, ambassador, right? Malach, from an unusual root, meaning to dispatch as a deputy, a messenger, specifically of God, an angel. Now, they'll say, see, look, it says specifically of God. So God ain't an angel. It says specifically of God. All right. But what does the word angel mean again? Keep this in mind. It's messenger. Now, what they fail to realize, you can speak in the behalf of God as a messenger, and at the same time, God himself can deliver the message directly. That's what you left out, Israel. You forgot the fact that God doesn't always send messengers. Sometimes he comes directly. When God was wrestling with Jacob, was that an angel wrestling with Jacob? Was that an angel of God wrestling with Jacob? Or did God say, I have seen God face to face and my life is preserved? He didn't say, I have seen the angel of the God face to face. He specifically said God face to face. But if that's not good enough, I'm going to nip this in the bud, because angel means messenger, a dispatch. God can send them or God can come himself. That's the part they forgot, that God can come himself. What's a deputy? A person who immediately superior is a senior figure within an organization and who is empowered to act as a substitute for the superior. The superior would be God. He'll be speaking in behalf of the superior, being the deputy. But the superior, if he want to come and talk to the person directly, he can. And that's what they forgot. That's what they forgot to acknowledge, that God does not always send angels. He's come directly, and we're about to prove that. God is an angel. Now, Exodus 31:18. And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communion with him, upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tablets of stone written with the finger of God. So here, Moses comes to Mount Sinai and get 2 testimonies written with the finger of God. It's plain. It's written, right? Now let's go to Acts. Watch this. Acts 7:38. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spoke to him in Mount Sinai, and with our fathers who received the lively oracles to give unto us. So right here, as you see highlighted, the angel which spoke to him in Mount Sinai, and when you come back to verse 18, it states, Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone written with the finger of God. There was only one person in Mount Sinai who Moses spoke to. It was God. And Acts 7:38 revealed that this God is an angel. God and angel are synonymous. Now keep that in mind. Angel means messenger. God comes directly to Moses as the to give him the message. See, it says Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone, written with the finger of God. It didn't say written with the finger of the angel of God. It said written with the finger of God. God is speaking, delivering a message directly to Moses. Acts 7:38, the angel which spoke to him in Mount Sinai. See that? Acts 7:53, who received the law by the disposition of angels. See that? You received the law by angels. It's in your book. You can't change that around. If we was to ask you who received the law by the disposition of angels, what you gonna tell us, man? What you gonna tell us? How you gonna wiggle your route that without coming up, without leaning on your own understanding? Don't the scripture say lean not on your own understanding, but trust in the Lord? You niggas gonna start leaning left and right trying to wiggle your way out of this. When I put you in a goddamn full Nelson, nigga. Body blow. Who have received the law by the disposition of angels? Nigga, answer me that. What angels gave the law? It's only 2 people who ever received the law. First, Moses. Second, Ezra. Those are the only 2 niggas who got a vision from the Lord to go write some shit or go deliver the law. Moses and Ezra. And they were both approached by angels. That's what Israel is having a hard time understanding, that God is an angel, and it's in your Bible. We're not even in the OAHSPE. We're not even in the OAHSPE. This is the Bible we're dealing with. And they want to ask why we beat up or why they always want to jump on our God. Nigga, this is in your book. We expose that your God is an angel and walks among men. Look, back to the King James translation, Strong's Concordance, God, angel. See that? So you got angel in the definition of the Strong's Concordance, H430. Then you got 2 verses verifying that one received the law by the disposition of angels, and then another angel spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai. You got 3 instances with angels. 1 in the definition and 2 in chapter and verse. Now here's the point that just, buries them. Exodus 19:18. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke because the Lord descended upon it on fire. Now, did it say the angel of the Lord descended on it? Or does it say the Lord himself descended upon it? You remember when I said the Lord could send out messengers, or he could come directly as the messenger, which classify him as an angel because angel means messenger? See, I'm not making this shit up. I'm showing you by example how this shit works. Verse 19. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded, long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him by a voice. Did it say the angel of God answered him by a voice? Or did it say God answered him by a voice? See how that worked? Verse 20. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai, on the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses up to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. Now, did that say the angel of the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai? Or did it say the Lord himself came down upon Mount Sinai? And you remember what I read earlier, that the Lord is an inconceivable entity that no man can know his extent and form? Well, how can someone or something that has an extent that no one can measure come down on a mountain that is measured and be subjected to the mountain? You smaller than the mountain, but you're supposed to have an extent no man can know, no man can measure. Nonetheless, the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount, and the Lord called Moses, not the angel of the Lord, but the Lord. See, this is how these niggas gonna get cut every time. Because we're not talking about the angel of the Lord. We're talking about this is supposed to be their creator. This is supposed to be the same one who created the heavens and the earth in 7 days, coming down on a piece of real estate he made. So this is proof that the angel, they God, is a deity first and foremost, is a man first and foremost, and is an angel first and foremost. And here's the precept to cut that. Again, the angel which spoke to him in Mount Sinai, 32. The Lord had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. There it is. That's the precept. Hair little, very little. You niggas is cut to death with this. Acts chapter 7, verse 38, and Exodus 34, 32. Those two verses alone will show you that your God is an angel. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spoke to him in Mount Sinai. And after all the children of Israel came near, and he gave them in the commandments all that the Lord had spoken with him on Mount Sinai. See, y'all niggas cut, man. This low-hanging fruit for me. This low-hanging fruit. And we're going to get into the worship of the angels, but that's low-hanging fruit, man. That's play. That's yesterday's shit. That's yesterday's work. Y'all still there with it? You know what I'm saying? Not playing. Hosea 12:4. Yes, he wrestled with the angel and won. Wow, they actually say that? That's crazy. Hold on, let me pull that up. Hosea 12:4. Damn, that's crazy. Where that at? Hosea 12:4. That's crazy. Y'all niggas wilding right now, son. Y'all niggas is wilding right now. Damn. That's crazy. Yeah. He had power over the angel and prevailed. Wow, that's crazy. He wept and made supplications unto him. He found him in Bethel, and there he spoke with us. Even the Lord God of hosts, the Lord is his memorial. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. That's why these niggas is confused, and that's why these niggas is lost, because they don't know what they following, yo. Niggas don't know what they following. Niggas thinking they following the creator, they following a man. Can you imagine a man coming to you telling you, I created the heavens and the earth, and he a man? And y'all niggas believe it? Y'all trying to get other people to believe that man who told you that he the creator, and y'all out there recruiting people to believe this shit. That's why these niggas having a hard time adjusting. Exactly, it's crazy. Can you explain Zarathustra's birth according to the OAHSPE? Something is troubling me with his conception. Did sex play a part in his conception? It was a testimony it was a confession by his mother that she confessed that no man birthed her child. That was the claim. That shit is wild, yo. The story of Zarathustra is one of the illest stories in the OAHSPE too, for the record. That's an ill-ass book. That's an ill one, yo. Trust and believe. Yeah, yo. See, that's another thing. A lot of these cats, man, they ain't gonna read. They ain't about to read this OAHSPE. They barely can understand the Bible. What makes you think they're gonna drop down and read the OAHSPE? Hell no. They're not about to do that. What's up, baby girl? They ain't about to do that. Just to the cognitive dissonance, right? Yeah, that's right. See, you sort of loud. That's right. I sort of loud. You got smashed, bro. No doubt. That's right. Yeah, that story of Zarathustra is a beast, yo. What's up, Zena? Being good? Let me share the screen real quick. Watch this. When people get wrapped up over the names and stuff like that, when we say we don't argue over names, it's God's word. Chapter 1, verse 2. Look what it states. Do not quabble over names. See that? Do not quabble over names. Seth Ahumazda. See that? Ahumazda is just like saying God in Persian. So the OAHSPE contains histories of different cultures and showing you the unisons between the different cultures of identifying God and Creator throughout the different cultures. Do not quabble over names, nigga. We're not over here quabbling over Jehovah, Jaja, or Mazd, Jesus. Nigga, we're not quabbling over names. Nor over places. Nigga, we're not over here arguing Jerusalem. Is Jerusalem in Canaan, or is it Jerusalem in Africa? Nigga, we don't care about that. I don't care if Jerusalem is in Africa. I don't care if Jerusalem is in Jerusalem as we know it today. That's irrelevant to your spiritual progression. The best you can say is, aha, I told you. That's the best you can get out of that. Is a aha, I told you that. That's about it. If they were to find the bones of Abraham today, the best niggas could do is say, aha, see, told y'all. That's the highest spiritual rate you niggas gonna go. Level 2. He, ha, ha. Sound like children. I told you so. Nor do we quabble over words. Tomato, tomato. Jehovah, Jehovah. You don't argue over these things. What Jaja say? All places are mine. All words are mine. My words. All names. My names. All truth is my speech. See, you niggas ain't speaking truth. You ain't speaking the truth of the Creator. Y'all speaking false. All truth is my speech. All facts is my voice. You speaking the facts here? Vortex is a fact. 7-day creation ain't a fact. That's an opinion. That's a subjective opinion that cannot be proven, nor can it be demonstrated. That's why we don't quabble over names, yo. That's Zarathustrian joint, yeah. You know what I mean? I was over there going at it. She beat up Muffin. Or Muffin beat up her. That don't mean because she was on top don't mean she was winning. You could beat a nigga ass from the bottom. Believe that. I'll beat a nigga ass with my back on the ground, boy. I'll apply that jujitsu on your ass. Alright. So this is the verse this was talking about just now, actually. Just wanted some clarity on this right here. The Lewis, the angels who were guardians over mortals for such purpose, went and accomplished what had been commanded by God. The Lewis are angels that are dealt with raising prophets, messiahs, anointed ones, and all that good stuff, right? And it takes 4 generations, 200 to 400 years to raise up one capable of hearing a voice. So prophets just don't pop up out of nowhere. It's a generational thing that is prepared by the angels called Lewis. The Lewis, the angels who were guardians over mortals for such purpose, went and accomplished what had been commanded by God. And the child's mother was Tucci. Now this is referring to the birth of Zarathustra. This is referring to old girl question. And the father's name, Loab. Tucci herself was suis born. Suis meaning the ability to hear and see angels, or hear angels. And before she conceived, was obsessed by Samoan, an angel. And so she was obsessed, meaning in a trance, possessed, but not for evil. Obsessed doesn't mean evil. Understand that. So before she conceived, was obsessed by Samoan, an angel. And during the time of maternity, she was not suffered to wake from her unconscious trance. So it's like she's in a coma, right? Being pregnant in a coma. And by the Lewis, her soul was often taken to the higher heaven, Etheria, to see its glory, and then return to inhabit her own body. Thus, the child was born of all light. And not at that same time, the obsession fled, and Tucci proclaimed within the city that no man was father to the child, but that she conceived from all light, believing so because she was unconscious during gestation. This is what she confessed, but the OAHSPE is letting you know the function of what really took place. Yeah, she was conceived, she was pregnant. But at the same time, this is the concept of the Immaculate Conception. She said, yo, ain't no nigga birth mine. I can't, ain't nobody had sex with me. Boo, this came from all light. So like when people ask the question, did the angel have sex with Mary to produce Jesus? Because Jesus didn't come from the lineage. This is an offshoot of that. Because you remember, they copied a lot of the stories from Zarathustra to compile the New Testament. The story of Jesus hanging on a cross with 2 thieves beside you. Zarathustra was killed like that. So yeah, even when I read this, I was like, yo, this is deep, because this is basically talking about the Immaculate Conception. Because actually not, it says, and before she conceived, was obsessed by Samoan, an angel. So this was her claim. It's like being unconscious for 9 months and you come out, then you have this baby. You're like, yo, ain't no nigga seeded me. Boom. But nonetheless, Zarathustra was born through that type of so-called gestation, as it states right here. Because she was unconscious during gestation right there. She was unconscious during gestation. So this shit is deep, yo. And then look what the next verse say. The learned men cast the horoscope. This is the same thing that they did with Jesus. The Persians cast the horoscope. Oh, do we see the sign of the Messiah? Look, the learned men cast the horoscope, but found nothing in the stars to alarm the kings. Found nothing to support the maiden story. The Lewis went before God, saying, behold, a child is born, capable of all light. Then God spoke, saying, I will come, go and lead the way. Because when you read the story of Zarathustra, it's like read the story of Christ. When the child was still a nursling, Ahumazda spoke through the child while its own spirit slept. See that? See that? The spirit of God is speaking through the infant while its spirit slept. See the levels to this shit? Niggas ain't ready for these levels of spirit communion. Look how the spirit is communion. Look at the power of God. If the Bible talks about a donkey, God made a donkey speak. Better an infant speaking than a donkey, right? While its own spirit slept, then again came the learned men, chief whom was Asha, son of Zista, learned in 1,000 stars and all living creatures, and all the bones, animals no longer living. See that? So this nigga was a small nigga. So Asha spoke to Tucci, saying, can your suckling talk? And God answered him, saying, look what it says. Look what the answer. Not the child, but I, Ahumazda. Do not think, O man, these small lips utter words prompted by this child's soul. I come to stop the cruel hand of war, to make men know there is an unseen master. Behold, this child has no sex. He is an Aishu, a passionless birth. See that? See, it's levels to this shit. It's spiritual purity on levels that nigga you can't even fathom to know. It says, behold, the child has no sex. He is an Aishu. Niggas don't even know what the term Aishu is. See, OAHSPE reveals things that even all of us who study OAHSPE had to scratch our head and like, damn, okay, well, what is this referring to? Let's do some research on this. Let's see if we can find this term. They said child was born sexless, meaning passionless birth. He has no desire to want to intercourse and have sex. So that's on another spiritual level. Because the carnal side, the lustful, that's the lower side. But this nigga's already born above that, passionless. I was like, God damn. But look what it states though. I come to stop the cruel hand to war, to make men know that there is an unseen master. Behold, this child has no sex. He is an Yeshua, Aishu. See that? Now watch this. In the story of Constantine in the OAHSPE, it's interesting because when they named Jesus, they really named Aishu. So when they know J is Aishu. But the definition of Aishu really means a passionless birth. He is an Aishu, a passionless birth. Now watch this. This OAHSPE heavy. Let's go to the story of Constantine, Book of Esther. Watch this. Constantine, right? Look how they come about to get the name Jesus in the book. Watch this. Let's get to Jesus. Aissus, I should say. All right, now watch here. Now this is the time of Constantine when they're selecting. This is the Council of Nicaea in the OAHSPE, basically, and they're selecting which stories to select, which gods to select, and which prophets to select. So now, right here it says, the next question was, what moral representative should be chosen? The first ballot brought out the following men. Zarathustra. Now we just read that Zarathustra, he is an Aishu, a passionless birth. Now they're using the story of Zarathustra to select which chosen shall be used. They got Thutma, Abraham, Brahma. They even got Joshua, which is Yeshua. Joshua, right? But look what it states right here. Let's scoop down. Hectius, which is Constantine, said, the gods will not let us What did I say, Miami?
Then you can charge your phone on here. My cousin had told me.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Oh, silky now. We charging our phone on the travel luggage. We back. Got knocked off, but I'm back. I'm back, family. We got thunder and, well, not really thunder and just rain. You know what I mean? Clouds that tick up. We'll be back. Small minds and weak hearts them can't hear the voice of the creator, yeah? Mm-hmm. We back at it. Give me some goddamn feedback if y'all still in the chat. I know I was out for a minute. We was going in on the term Aishu, showing how that term was a title placed on individuals who was born passionless, with no desire. That's what I was getting at. Let me go to the Ashang. Book of Ashang goes into that. You know what I mean? We're going to a Yeshua, the place of salvation. And that was the name of a heavenly plateau in the OAHSPE. I was like, boy, so much that you think you know about Creator. And these are just the stories belonging to the earth, the lower heavens and the earth. What's up, boo? Come here. Come here. You come here. She's trying to run now. I think it's in the lower book. I will send them to Yeshua. That's why. I think it's not ready. I'm not ready for that part, no king. Well, let me see. I think that's in the lower book. Let's see. One second. Matter of fact, let me let the music vibe on me. I look for. Everything drop out. Bring it on. Yeah. What? Champion sound. You know what I mean? It's a blood clot party. All right, there you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Finish it. Which one? Yeah, we back. We was knocked off for a minute, but we back. Hold up, why can't I see the latest chats? Let me see something. I can see y'all commenting on my phone, but I can't see y'all commenting on my laptop. That's crazy. I want to refresh the screen and mess it up. Y'all Got chats from the phone. Yeah, we vibing out, family. You know how we do. You know how we do. So I gotta look at my phone and hear the chats. Yehuda Israel. Now we're not gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that to the Bible. You know what I mean? We still for read the book, you know, King. We still for read the Bible. You know what I mean? We're not throw away the book. You see the book right here. See the book. This the Bible right here. This the OAHSPE below it. See, this the Bible right here, man. See, we still read the Bible. You know how old this Bible is? This Bible right here, I've been reading this Bible longer than half these niggas been in the truth right here, man. Been reading this Bible since the 90s, man. Did the work. Did the work. Yeah, man. He's the man that got of the Bible. I see the fam chiming in. Peace to the righteous gods and goddesses. I'm not telling the building new school of thought. This is new school of thought right here. You know what I mean? New school of thought. The thoughts of higher spiritual realms than this earthly realm. You know what I mean? That's a new school of thought. Shout out to the sister. But yeah, yo. Let's move forward. We just touching here and there, moving around. Y'all remember this picture right here? Niggas be talking about, oh, they spooked out. Nah, nigga. Well, remember this picture right here, family? Oh, shit, hold up. Nigga, we got a picture of a real angel on cam. Just stop it right there. Look at that. Y'all remember that, fam? Wish the homie was up. What y'all see? What y'all see right there? Don't nobody in the world got this picture but me and the dude who gave it to me, who took the picture at his aunt crib. Right here. This picture was taken right up the street where I live at. And what you see your ancestor. You see a spirit. You see an angel. Whatever name you want to call it, spirit, ancestor, or angel, that's somebody who once lived and their spirit appeared. Some people call it an apparition. But look at the clothing. You know, we already did the homework. Look, she got on a turban on her head, like the Anchimama turban on her head, the head wrap. A lot of them was maids and shit like that for slave master. Look at her dress. You remember, we did the homework on this already. We pulled up that this dress was during the late early 1900s. So this ancestor is still lingering. Look at that. This is up the street. If I can get in contact with my man, because I think he's locked up right now. But if I get in contact with him, he'll give me the address because this is up the street where I live at. Right here, I'm talking about up the street where I live at. This picture was taken. You see the spirit on the porch. I showed you this picture before, babe, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh,
you see that? And what did I subtitle it? Who are angels? Huh? You see that? Now look what it states. These, God's book of escrow, chapter 4, verse 15. These are from Jehovah and in him. And all angels, gods, lords, generals, captains, and chiefs in heaven are only the brothers and sisters of both mortals and the spirits of the dead. So you want to know what a god is? A spirit of the dead. You want to know what an angel is? A spirit of the dead. So when you cross over, you take on the titles of gods, chiefs, captains, generals, lords, as you mature and advance in the realm. Just like on earth. You come into the earth as a child, an infant, and then as you adapt and grow and progress on the earth, you mature on the earth, you take on responsibilities on the earth, then with those responsibilities, you take on titles. You know, you may work at your first job at McDonald's and you may work flipping burgers, and from flipping burgers, you become the supervisor. Now your title is supervisor. You see how that works? It's simple. So spiritually, these same proceedings occur. As above, so below. So as above, so below as above. If there's a heavenly kingdom in heaven, there's an earthly kingdom on earth. God has a throne. Jesus is supposed to be sitting on the right hand of God. That's in heaven. So the similitudes are the same. So again, they go to picture the ancestor. So this ancestor right here, when she ascends, because she's still lingering on earth, she's considered a lingering spirit in the OAHSPE. That's what they call a drudge. Spirits who linger. Now let me get a verse. Let me precept that. I'm gonna go to the Book of Judgment real quick. I'm gonna go to the Book of Judgment, right? Verse 3. Chapter 3. Or chapter 4. Yeah, chapter 4. Now check it, right? Watch this. Let me get to where I want to go. Right here. Look at this. Now, this is referring to the. Let me know what. Let me go up to a verse. Let me give it some relevance. Now look. But of those who are below grade 1, there are more than 6 billion, which compromises these angels who know nothing more than babies, though for the most part, they were full-grown adults as to earth life. So you have angels that are in positions like this that cross over and don't know nothing. They're totally docile to the spiritual world. Let me bring that over. So I'm going to use the ancestor with relevance to this verse. Again. But of those who are below grade 1, meaning angels who are below the grades, there are more than 6 billion, which comprise those angels who know nothing more than babies, though for the most part they were full-grown adults as to earth life. Some are fetals, some engrafters. Now this is the key. Look what it states right here. Where my highlighter at? Right here. Look what it states. Now this is important. Some engrafters who dwell with one mortal during his lifetime. So here's an angel dwelling in the house of the living. She could engraft on the living. Right? This is what the verse is saying. Some engrafters, meaning these angels can engraft, who dwell with one mortal during his lifetime, and then engraft themselves on another mortal during his lifetime. So look how long she's been living here. You know how many people done live in and out this house while that spirit is still there?
No.
And in fact, knowing no other heavens, being disbelievers in the all person and in my exalted kingdoms. Now here's the catcher. Right here. Those who are below grade 1, I have classified this day as drudges, because they have not left the earth and entered the first resurrection. Now look at this. This is the key point. Because they have not left the earth. Here is a lingering spirit, a lingering ancestor. She has not left the earth. And from the looks of it, based off her clothing, you can tell how long she's been here. At least 100 years. Just based off her clothing. Or more, as the wife say. Right? So coming back to the verse. Look what it states. They inhabit mostly old cities and places of filth and indecency. Nevertheless, they also inhabit the palaces of kings, queens, emperors, popes, priests, and rich people. So they're letting you know that these spirits that have not entered the first resurrection, they linger around. And this is just one out of numerous of spirits that are lingering around you just can't see. It just so happened that this particular ancestor, now here's where the science come in at. Because I told you all this is science as well. Now let's pick up the electromagnetic spectrum, right? This is where the science coming at. Visible and invisible light. Now look, this is visible light. This is the spectrum of light that we see. But on the electromagnetic spectrum, there are light waves that are unseen to the naked eye. And the parameter of these waves, let me get one that shows you the measures, like this one. All right, this is a perfect one right here. Now look, this is science. You see, you got gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet. These are unseen to the naked eye. Then you have visible light, which is what we see from the naked eye. And the range of visible light is 400 nanometers to 700 nanometers. Anything outside of this range is what we would consider unseen, or you want to say spiritual. The spiritual realm exists outside of visible light. So the ancestors, when we cross over, when we die, we're going to go into one of these grids, one of these frequencies, because your spirit is a frequency, it's vibrating. Your very life force is a frequency. The ruach is a spirit. Spirit is air. Air in motion is vortexia. This is vortexia. But visible light is what we see. So the ancestors, they exist either in the ultraviolet, X-ray, or gamma ray, or they exist in the infrared or radio wave. Now, the infrared and radio wave are slower vibrational frequencies. The higher angels vibrate at a faster vibrational frequency. That's why gamma rays, if you look in the gamma rays, you're going to destroy your eyesight because it's too powerful for visible light. It's outside of its range. But the ancestors exist in these realms, in these ranges. If ancestors like this are still lingering on the earth, that means she's existing in a range in the infrared, the radio wave, in the lower vibrational frequencies because she's still earthbound. She's moving at a slower vibration. So, for example, for her to be seen, here's we're dealing with the science. Now, if you notice, you could see her, but you could see through her as well because you could see the door right there, directly through her. So, if we deal with science, the spiritual rate, vibrating frequency of this ancestor will have to be in the range between 700 nanometers and let's say 725, 750. Because 25, that's slightly outside of visible light, but you could still see. So the ancestor will be placed on the borderline of this range right here, just outside of visible light, but just enough in range of visible light. That's why we could see her. See that? And then if she was to disappear, that means she's completely out of range of 700 nanometer or completely out of range of 400 nanometer, completely out of sight, outside of visible light. So that's the science dealing with spirituality. It's a vibrational frequency. That's why I say when you're dealing with spirituality, it's still scientific because you're dealing with the electromagnetic spectrum, which is the vibrational frequency of things seen and unseen, the pH scale, which is the balance of life, and the periodic table of elements, which is the physical makeup of things seen and unseen. So that's our ancestor right there, existing in spirit, taken right up the street, right here in real time. And like I say, that's one out of numerous spirits walking around here. If she's been here for 100 years, think about all the cats that's crossing over today. Think about how many cats died in the last month, last year, the year before that, all the whole 90s, from 1990 to 1999, all the people who got gunned down and murdered or who died. All those spirits, all those souls, a lot of them is still lingering and moving around the earth plane. Some of them has ascended up to the higher realm, or the lower higher realm, I should say, the second resurrection. See, OAHSPE gives you insight of all these things, family. You feel me? Yes, family. Yo, that shit deep, son. This is spiritual science. That's why it's interesting that God Killer and Sekou having this debate about the spirituality and science coincide, and it does. If you understand the creator, you're going to understand that everything is in unison. And when you understand how to put that unison together, you one in one. You one on road with creator. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about vortex and energy, we're talking about the electromagnetic spectrum, wave frequency. Everything's in creation has a frequency. That frequency is expressed in color as well. When you look at the pH scale, you see the color spectrum, right? When you look at the pH scale, oh shit. When you see the pH scale, you see the color spectrum. See that color spectrum? See that color spectrum? See? These colors ain't these colors for nothing. These colors are expression the wave frequency, and it's expressed in color. And this is visible light. This is what we can see. It's colors in these wave frequencies outside of visible light that we don't even have a clue. We never seen before. We're subjected to these ranges right here. 400 nanometers, which is your purple. 500 nanometers, your blue, your green, yellow, orange, brown, red. This is the color spectrum. This is nature for us right here. This is visible light. And at the same time, this is the pH scale. The pH scale is the balance of life. Acidity exists on the red range. Alkalinity exists on the purple range. It's all connected. All connected. It's one universal order. Now, this is the pH scale. Now look, this is the pH scale, right? Let me get a general break. Look, all right, this is a general picture of the pH scale. See that? Now, if you notice the pH scale and the electromagnetic spectrum, where that? Right here. Hold up. Right here. Now look, this is the pH scale. The pH scale deals with life and death. Because if your body is overly acidic, you're slowly dying. You got to be in the neutral range right here. This is good health. This is what Dr. Sebi was explaining. This is what Dr. Sebi was trying to get you niggas to understand about your health. That this shit is a science. We dealing with science. Science is spirituality. Spirituality just means frequencies existing outside of visible light, because spirit means ruach, and ruach means air, and air is electrons. Atoms, cells, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen. That's spirit. That's ruach. That's the inhale and the exhale. That's what keeps you alive. See that? So the pH scale. This is where good health preside. Alkalinity. That's why everybody's on an alkaline wave, because alkalinity is where you need to be. The more acidic your body is, the more unhealthier you are. They say sickness and disease cannot exist in an alkaline environment, but all sickness and disease thrive in an acidic environment. And if you notice, acid stops at number 6. They say the devil number is 6, and God number is 7. Purity starts at 7. See that? That's a simple science. But look at the number range. We're dealing with numbers. They say cancer cells die at a pH of 8.5. Huh? Watermelon is 10. Lime is 11. Lime on the alkaline pH is 11. See that? But cancer cells die at 8.5. So if you understand the science of the acid and alkaline and what in nature complements each side, how in order for you to treat your body. This is why Creator said become herbivorous. Eat the herbs, the fruits, because that's more on the neutral and alkaline side. Greens. Just look at that. When you look at nature, fruits. When you look at nature, green. Vegetables is green, right? Vegetables is green. That's 7. That's a godly thing to eat. Because on the pH scale, it's neutral. It's 7. It's balanced. But when you look at eggplant is like dark purple up here, highly alkaline. Huh? Blueberries. The color range is up here. See that? Nature is color coded. When you see things, when fruits grow and they're still on this range, it's kind of acidic. You got to wait till they ripe. 7 is the ripening phase. And then you start getting the colors over here, the dark blue. That's when it's rich. That's when it's ready to go. That's the fuel of fire. See that? This is the pH scale. This is dealing with your health. So if you want to talk about eating meat, you getting sick because you're falling over here. Meat on the pH scale falls in the range of 4, 3, 2. Coffee on the pH scale is 2 and 3. Soda is 2. Soda is actually 1. Huh? Ginger ale and all that is 4, 5. So anytime your diet is more in this range, you're slowly dehydrating your organs. So our creator is saying, eat on this range, the alkalinity side, because alkalinity purifies the blood, while meat increases acid and creates blood clotting by slowing down the blood circulation in the blood. That's what meats do over time. I ain't talking about I'm talking about over 30. You keep eating meat for the 30, 40 years of your life and see the results that come with that. See that? This is a science. And coming back to the visible range, you see the same color spectrum. This side would be the acid side. This side would be the alkaline side. This side will be where the purity dwells. Now, if you notice on the pH scale, the higher the alkalinity, the greater the electric spark, the greater the circulation, the faster the frequency. So the greater the fruits, the faster the frequency. Coming back to the pH, to the electromagnetic spectrum. If you want higher frequency, vibrational frequency, you got to eat foods in that range. So if you want to come outside of visible light on a higher spectrum, you got to eat foods that are highly alkaline. But that's just a simple understanding of just dealing with science and spirituality is one and the same. So this ancestor we see here could be lingering because she could have had a poor diet. And her vibrational frequency is bound to the earth because it's slow. If you would have been increasing the vibrational frequency, it's up and out. The faster the frequency, the further you move away from the earth or ingrided in the atmosphere. Now let's show this. Atmosphere of the earth, right? But we're supposed to be ascending, not descending, not stationary, right? So just as an example, just want a basic picture with the atmosphere in there without all the extra. But you know it don't even matter. So check it. All right. See if it pop up. So just as an example, let me come back. So just an example, just like you see the atmosphere, there's atmospheric levels. Now you can't see these atmospheric levels. These things are what? Electromagnetic range. These are the ranges. These are vibrational frequencies, atmosphere, because everything is in motion. It's a frequency. Notice the thermosphere doesn't go down and mix up with the stratosphere. Everything is ingrided. So when you cross over in spirit, the faster the vibrational frequency is up here. The slower vibrational frequency is closer to the earth. It's the same concept with the electromagnetic spectrum. The slower the frequency is down here. The faster the frequency is up here, coming back to the atmosphere. The slower the frequency is earthbound. The faster the frequency is up here. That's why you can't see what's going on in the higher heavens, because it's outside of visible range. You can't even detect it. You can't even pick up on it. That's why I look like a clear blue sky, because you can't pick up on the frequency. The sky is blue. Let's go back to the electromagnetic spectrum. Why is the sky blue? There go the blue range right there. Keep in mind, this is visible light. This is what you see. The sky is blue because the vibrational frequency is moving at a nanometer of, say, 600. Let's say 450 right here. I'm sorry, 450, because 600 is over here. So 450. Let's say 450 is why the sky is blue. But if you notice when the sun is setting, you may see it may get orange. The atmosphere may get orange. The sky may look red. The vibrational frequency has slowed down. This shit is a whole science. So once you understand it, you'll get it. We get it over here. Create a game, get the science. Because it's all in unison. It's all one. So the ancestor, this is not a spook. That spirit standing there is not a spook. It's a science. She's vibrating at a frequency that we can see. But we can still see through her, but she's still visible. And then if she was to disappear, what are we going to say? Oh, that was spooky. No, nigga. She tapped out of visible light. That's what the angels could do. When you get more proficient and progress in the spirit world, you have the ability to turn off and turn on. You have a lot of people that see spirits. Ask people around you. Ask your grandparents. Ask your oldest relatives in your family. Have they ever seen spirits? And I guarantee you're going to be shocked by what they tell you. If you're thinking we talking crazy. You feel me? If you think we talking crazy, talk to your grandmama. I bet you. If you think we talking crazy about the spirits of the dead, talk to your great-great-grandmama, your great-great-granddaddy, your great-great-uncle, whichever living relative that is oldest in your family. Talk to them and ask them, Grandma, Grandpa, have you ever seen the spirit of the dead? Have you ever heard them talk? And hear what they tell you and come back and talk to them. Yeah, it's a science, spiritual science indeed. It is mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing, yo. Give me a one in the chat if y'all getting this understanding. See, this is what Creator Gang is about. Creator is unity. If you don't know how to unify, then you ain't there yet. If you still departmentalize, separating things, you ain't there yet. You got to unify creation. Everything is a science. Science, cosmology, creation, it's all one and the same. So when they say God is not a scientist, shit, the Creator is the greatest scientist. Yes, family. We just vibing out here. pH scale, electromagnetic frequency, electromagnetic spectrum, and this is last and foremost. Last and foremost. These three things right here compromise creation. I've been speaking this for years, right? Y'all know what that is, right? The periodic table of elements, the periodic table of elements, the electromagnetic spectrum, and the pH scale. These three things compromise creation. The periodic table of elements is the spiritual and physical makeup of things seen and unseen. Spiritual just means unseen, things that is not detected by the natural eye. That's all it means. You have a physical body, and within this physical body is an angelical body that looks exactly as the blueprint of this physical body. The physical body is an outward expression of the angelical body. The spirit is a seed in this corporeal body, and the spirit grows with the corporeal body. And when the corporeal body, the physical body dies, the spirit that was existed in this corporeal body, the blueprint of the spirit is in the likeness of this corporeal body. That's why when you see the spirits of the dead, they look like who they was when they was alive. Because the spirit is imprinted and it grew in that body, and it took on the blueprint, the likeness and form of that body. So if a child dies young, the spirit of that child is, you see, I know people who see spirits, children who done died, and they see the spirits of that child. See, the spirit is blueprinted on the corporeal part. So wherever you cross over at, that's where your spiritual progression continues. So the periodic table of elements is the physical makeup and the spiritual makeup. The spiritual will represent hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Those are unseen gases, right? But then you have iron, nickel, copper. Those are the physical minerals. But nonetheless, iron and oxygen are both minerals. They're both part of the periodic table of elements. So this is the physical and spiritual makeup of things seen and unseen, the periodic table of elements. Then you have the electromagnetic spectrum, which is the vibrational frequency of everything in creation, seen and unseen, right? And then you have the pH scale, which is the balance of life and death. The neutral range is 7. If you stay neutral, you'll be all right. If you're too over acidic, you're gonna be, you know what I mean, slow circulating, poor circulation. But one thing about alkalinity is that you can't be too alkaline because there is no fruit that is over alkaline. There's no fruit over 14 on the pH scale. The highest fruit reaches 11. Watermelon is 10 on the pH scale. All tropical fruits, their range is 8, 9, 10, like pineapple. They like in the 8 range. Watermelon, they 10. Limes, they 10, 11. So if you get you some watermelon and squeeze some green lime in it, boy, you don't know what you're doing to your body. You highly giving it fuel, especially for the blood, because the blood circulates and give oxygen to all your organs. So if your blood is not circulating properly, eventually your organs is going to not circulate properly because it's not getting the proper oxygen for it to function right. The blood system. Should I know? Now we get into some real shit. The body has 12 systems. You know that, right? Check this out. See that? The body has 12 systems. Where the picture at? That's right, there you go. These are look, your body has 12 systems. Now, these are the 12 systems of your body. You got the nervous system, the endocrine system, the lymphatic system, the integumentary, the skin system, basically, the muscular system, digestive, the skeleton, male, female, reproductive, respiratory, urinary, and circulatory. These are the 12 systems of the body. These 12 parts make your body, right? Just like we got the 12 tribes, the 12 zodiac. These are the 12 systems, but the 13th is the spirit. The 13th is what activates the body. The 13th, that's the crown chakra. When we talk about the crown chakra and all that, I ain't gonna get all esoteric, but I'm speaking realistic. Your body is an electrical spark. That electrical spark is what activates these 12 systems. So your body has 12 systems. Now, notice these 12 systems. Now, all these 12 systems are separate. There is only one system out of the 12 that is connected to the rest of them. For example, the digestive system is not connected to the muscular system. The muscular system is not connected to the respiratory system. But there's one system that is connected to every last one of these organs. And that system is the circulatory system. The circulatory system is connected to the urinary tract. The circulatory system is connected to the lungs. The circulatory system is connected to the male and female reproductive. The circulatory system is connected to the skeleton. The circulatory system is connected to the digestive tract. The circulatory system is connected to the muscular system. The circulatory system is connected to the I always mess up that word, the skin system, basically. The circulatory system is connected to the lymphatic and the endocrine nervous system. This one system is the unifier to the rest. So the circulatory system, which is the system of the blood, veins, and artery, and heart, is the most important, because if anything is going wrong in the circulatory system, it could go wrong in the rest of the organs. For example, if your kidneys, right? Here go your kidneys in your endocrine system. If anything happens to that, it's because the blood is connected to the kidneys. Right here, the kidneys right here. If you have kidney infection, the infection came from the blood, because the blood got to supply oxygen to the kidney for it to even function properly. The blood is connected to the lung, respiratory. If you get inflammation in your lungs, it's because you got inflammation in your blood, because the blood supplies oxygen to the lungs. Oxygen is a negative charged cell. But if your oxygen through eating acidic foods and drinks turns into a positively charged cell, that's an acidic cell, and it's going to create inflammation. It's going to create burning on the organ. And that just not goes for the lungs, that goes for the kidney, That goes for the male and reproductive system. That goes for the bones. When it hits the bones, it's called osteoarthritis. That's when inflammation is in the bones. Huh? See that? And another important is the two important systems is the digestive tract and the respiratory system. The respiratory system is connected to every last system, and the digestive tract is what you bring into your body. The foods and drinks comes through the digestive tract. So the first means of contact is the digestive tract. The digestive tract takes the food and the liquid, break it down in the stomach, and through the duodenum absorbs the nutrients into the blood. The duodenum basically is what absorbs the blood. Absorbs the nutrients into the blood. See? I've been doing this work, yo. Nigga, been doing this work. Been doing this work. You know what I mean? So that's what we're saying. This shit is a system. The body has 12 systems. And that which activates the 12 is the spirit. That's the 13th. You know what I mean? That's the anointed. You are the anointed. Your spirit anoints your body for it to even be alive. You are the God. You got to know thyself. To know thyself is what we just broke down. Know the 12 systems of your body. Know what is the mineral makeup of each system. The skeleton is composed of calcium and phosphorus. You see what I'm saying? The skin is composed of carbon. Your hair is composed of carbon and copper. Understand thyself is what the Creator is learning. You're here to learn. Learn your physical makeup. Learn the works of your Creator. Give me a one in the chat if y'all getting this understanding, family. We vibing out. You vibe. You dig. Your vibes out. Yeah, one in the chat. It comes up top vibes. And then some people will be like, yo, why won't God open the sky and talk to us? Why we can't hear God? Why won't God talk? Man, let me tell you something. Them niggas is moving at a frequency outside of visible light, man. The gods can know what's going on with us, where they at, down here, because it's a science. Let me give you an explanation of a science why God don't come show his face, but he knows everything going down here with us, but we don't know what's going on there with them because we haven't got to that point of knowledge and spiritual growth because we still terrestrial beings locked in bodies. But these high ascended spiritual masters, you know what I mean? They know what's going on. Let me show you how. Let me read from the OAHSPE, the science that's being taught. Let's go to the Book of Divinity real quick. Let's go to the Book of Divinity. Watch this. All right, let me show you the level that these angels are on. And these are lessons within the lower heavens. All right, now watch this. Now, like I said, a lot of people ask, well, why don't God come down and show us he exists or this, that, and the third? God ain't got to do none of that shit. Because he know you're going to be up here eventually. So your ass got to just be patient, live this shit out, get the knowledge and understanding why you here, instead of questioning this shit, investigate it. Because one day you're going to die. And this book is telling you about the life after this realm with great insight in past history. So it's on you. We already know this shit. We just trying to help y'all out who don't know. So check this. This is why the gods and the ancestors, the ascended masters, don't come down and interfere on these low levels. Right? Where that? All right, check it. Watch this. This is the Book of Divinity, chapter 4, verse 13. The Diva Decreed. Now, this is what we're reading is the primary education of the first and second resurrection. These are what the ancestors are learning when they cross over in spirit, who are advancing. You have, like I said, you have lingering spirits, like I showed you the picture of the ancestors lingering around the earth, but then you have angels, ancestors that are in these schools and colleges progressing and getting ahead and not lingering. So this is some of the science that they're learning. Now look what it states. Diva decreed it. He shall now analyze the waves of voices. Let me stop right there. The waves of voices. Now, coming back to the science, this is the electromagnetic spectrum. Everything moves in the waves. Now keep in mind, you have visible waves and you have invisible waves, sound waves. So what you feel or realize, human beings, is that when you speak, everything that expresses sound is uttered in the atmosphere as a wave. And the little you don't know, earthlings, is that these waves can be read by the ancestors as they are rippled and echoed throughout the atmosphere. That's what you don't know. Now coming to the voice. What did the verse say? The Diva decreed it. He shall now analyze the waves of voices in which he cannot hear the sound. See that? In which he cannot hear the sound. So if he cannot hear the sound, that means he got to measure the frequency. So like if you across the street, if you a block away and you talking at your man, he can't hear you, you can't hear him, but y'all talking and y'all not in range of hearing each other yet. Y'all outside of hearing each other, but what y'all saying is still going out in the atmosphere, right? And that wave that's going out can be read by the ancestors. What did the verse say? The Diva decreed it. He shall now analyze the waves of voices in which he cannot hear the sounds. His teacher shall station him in a certain place and cause him to read the waves of light and sound that come to him. What he states? His teacher shall station him in a certain place, right? To cause him to what? Read the waves of light. What do we see right here? What is this? Waves of light. See that? Visible light, waves of light. See, we're not dealing with no spookism. We're dealing with objective, practical knowledge, but it takes time to get this shit. You're not going to get it the first time you read it. You're dealing with somebody who's been dealing with this, so I can bring it to you like this. Read the waves of light and sound that come to him so that he knows not only the words spoken, but the kind of person speaking or singing. This was the 37th divine law. These is what niggas is learning in the schools and colleges among the ancestors. They're learning how to read sound waves, light waves, without you being there to talk. So God ain't got to come sit down and have a face-to-face conversation with you on a terrestrial level when he could read the frequencies coming up. When you pray to God, right? When you pray to, what you doing? You sending out prayers to where? Out and up. You sending out what? So when you pray, you sending out what? Where that? You sending out waves of voices. When you pray, waves of voices. These are waves of voices right here. When you speak, everything is moving in a wave. When you pray, these waves are going up. So if you're thinking your prayer not being answered, you're wrong. Because look what it states. His teacher shall station him in a certain place and cause him to read the waves of light and sound that comes to him so that he know what? The word spoken. So if you're praying, there are ancestors who can hear the word spoken based off the waves of light and sound from the waves of voice. We're dealing with a spiritual science. See that? So when God don't need to come down and say, hello, nigga, here I am. They on this frequency they on this high vibrational frequency. They ain't got to come entertain you because these are the lessons for you. These are the lessons of the primary education of the first and second resurrection. These is what grandma, great-great-grandpa who done passed on. This is what they learning. So they ain't got to come pay you a visit. Now check this one out. The diva decreed it, verse 14. His teacher shall now cause him to read the waves of light. See that? Look at that. Now, he's what? Reading the waves of light and sound emanating from two people talking at the same time. Now it's getting a little bit more sophisticated and complex once you progress. So two people talking back and forth. This data what? The diva decreed it. His teacher shall now cause him to read the waves of light and sound emanating from two persons talking at the same time, who he cannot hear. See that? He cannot hear. And he shall understand not only the word spoken, but the kind of person speaking. Then he shall read the waves in the same way for the three persons, then 4, then 8, then 100, and even 1,000. This was the 38th divine law. Look at the level of sophistication and intelligence the ancestors is dealing with. They're not only reading wavelengths that you can't hear him speaking, but they can detect who it is and how many people speaking. And this is the education in just the first and second heaven. We ain't even talking about Etheria yet. So while you sitting up here in your nutshell thinking that ain't no spiritual things going on, all this shit going on outside of visible light, outside of what you can see. And the OAHSPE is giving you a little bit of insight of what goes on with our ancestors. Niggas ain't going to be sitting around singing holy, holy, holy all day. They going to be reading the wavelength of those singing holy, holy, holy all day, saying, oh, they over there saying holy, holy, holy all day. I ain't even got to hear them niggas saying, I can read the wavelength. That's what we dealing with over here. Now look at this. This is the reason I'm saying reading this is to show you why the ancestors or the angels ain't got to come intervene and prove themselves. This is why. Look what this states. Then he shall be taken near a battlefield where mortals are in deadly conflict, and he shall be stationed far enough away so he does not hear the sounds. Are you hearing this? But when the waves come to him, see that? When the what? Look. But when the what come to him? But when the waves come to him, coming back to the electromagnetic spectrum. So let's say, for example, you're standing right here and the wave is coming and boom, the wave hits you. When that wave hits you, look what it states next. Look what it states next. He shall read them and know the number of the men in battle, the kind of weapons in use, and the cause of contention, just based off the wave frequency. He's picking up on intelligence on that scale. See that? Read that again. Then he shall be taken near a battlefield where mortals are in deadly conflict, and he shall be stationed far enough away so he does not hear the sound. Key point, he does not hear the sound. Why don't God come down and talk to us? Nigga, he can hear the sound waves when you speak, Negroes. But when the waves come to him, he shall read them. So God is reading the waves. When you say, oh, ain't no God, he's reading that shit out the atmosphere through the wavelengths. And know the number of the men in battle and the kind of weapons in use and the cause of contention. This was the 39th divine law. So if you reached the 39th divine law, you was capable of doing these things. Your level of intelligence was on these things. As mortal terrestrial beings, we can barely fathom doing some shit like this. And we could pick up on shit like this. You got some people that can hear frequencies outside of sound and see people that can see spirits, but look at the detail that's going on in the unseen realm. Because keep in mind, this is visible light. All this is picked up outside of visible light that they're talking about. See that? Easy work, family. Easy work. These are the science of the ancestors. This is the shit that they learned in the heavens. This is the primary education of the first and second resurrection belonging to the earth plane. We ain't even talking about the third resurrection or the Etherian plane. Just imagine the level of intelligence that they on. We in a nutshell, so we none of that shit exists because we still in the cocoon. We in a frequency that's subjected to a nanometer for 400, 700. We can't move that. We can't get out of that. So being that you can't see outside of visible light, you don't believe in the unseen because you don't see it. You only believe in the tangible, that which you can see and touch. Yes, family, it's a blood clot vibes. You know how we do. Yes, family. If I pull out that sword and I'm stopping it to the king. So just imagine, look at the science y'all getting from the OAHSPE. And look how the OAHSPE is lining up with science, cosmology. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I was in the Bible, I'd be reading about killing some tribe or the Edomites going to hell, kill. But look what we're dealing with. So while the false gods and the followers of these false gods are going to be leading themselves to destruction, we're going to be leading ourselves to light. So it's going to be a split. It's going to be a split between those who serve the Creator and those who still serve a deity. Friendships is going to depart because those who serve the Creator is going to further themselves from those who serve the false gods, and it's going to be created split. And those who serve the Creator is going to prosper, and those who serve the false god is going to go down in destruction. That's how it's always been in history. Every arc cycle shows that pattern. That's why the Creator says, even in your Bible, give knowledge, and with knowledge get understanding. Obtain knowledge. Don't limit yourself. Don't bound yourself to no books. We're not bound to the OAHSPE. You know what I'm saying? We're not bound to the Bible. We're not bound to the Quran. Spiritual beings cannot be bound. Spiritual beings are investigators. We investigate creation. Throw that down. Creator is undefeated as you see. Why? You feel me? It's a blood clot vibes. Now I'm back at it. All right, now I can see the recent. I had to reload the pictures and reload the channel so I can see the chat. Yeah, exactly. OAHSPE is vast. All right, I couldn't see everybody in the chat. Now I can see what's going on. I was looking for my fizz on. OAHSPE is vast. Yeah, that's why they can't digest it, because there's so much going on and they bounce from place to place instead of starting from 1 to 2 to 3 and dealing with it like that, sensible. They can't get an understanding, nor are they reading the book. So it's like they ain't a lose situation, because you're not trying to get understanding. Because if you want to defeat somebody, you got to know what they fucking coming with. You see what I'm saying? The reason we could beat up the Bible because we know the Bible. You could beat up the OAHSPE if you knew the OAHSPE. We challenge it too. Don't think we just sitting out here like Bible believers. We just believe in the goddamn book. No. It's just that the overall concept makes way more sense. It's way more practical. It's way more practical. So what's your cash app? It's on the screen, beloved. Bam. need to read the book to learn the truth. Yeah. You can learn orally. That's what the oral tradition is. The oral tradition is that they didn't read from books, they taught from the angels directly. That's the oral tradition. It's a blood clot vibes. What's the question? That explains why I'm living life. Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's not your fault. It's just that you moving and they, you know, I'll be moving on two different paths, come back around to the same journey. Who's holding them spiritually accountable for their atrocities? Their own slave masters. There is recompensation in the spiritual world. Now let's show that. Easy work. Quick, fast, quick, fast. Quick, fast. It's a blood clot vibes. Hold up and pull it down. No. Now the question was, who's holding them spiritually accountable? Now, you know what I mean? Who's holding them is themselves. Who you injure is who could come back and hurt you. What did they say right here? Let's give them some insight on how the retaliation and payback goes. Book of Jehovah, chapter 8, verse 4. The angels under you shall become at times rebellious and defiant, right? Disregarding your laws and decrees. This is what you want to know, right? And they shall desert your heavenly places and go down to the earth in millions, hundreds of millions. And they shall drive away the Ashars and then assume guardianship over mortals. But they shall develop no righteousness under the sun. And they will inspire mortals to war and destruction. And these angels will themselves take to war and evil throughout the place of your heavens. So if you hate the white man and the white man hates you and y'all going back and forth killing each other, this is your spiritual reality for both parties. Both of you are guilty of warfare, regardless of who was right and who was wrong. Now, this is what's going to take place with you niggas. Those who want to leave in captivity and go into captivity, this is your spiritual reality. With foul gases of atmosphere, they shall make weapons of war and places of torment. With these elements shall they make suffocating hells in order to do what? Cast one another in chaos. See that? Cast one another in chaos. So some of the white man may gap some of the black man, and some of the black man may gap some of the white man and throw them in chaos. Throw them in these suffocating hells. Both parties now. See that? Now your God is a God of war. And mortals slain in war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield. So when you die in battle, guess what? You're going to be spiritually born in chaos. Your God forgot to tell you that. Because if your God was informing you that if you die under my watch, your spirit going to be born in chaos. You're going to question, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean if I die, I'm going to be born spiritually in chaos? Hold up. Before I go to battle, let me rethink this. See, if you had this understanding, you know you ain't going to battle knowing these spiritual conditions hang over your head. And mortals slain in war shall be born in spirit into chaos on the battlefield and enter the spirit world in chaos. They shall not know that they are dead as to earth life, but shall still keep fighting right and left. This is your reality. This is the atrocities. You said spiritual atrocities. This is it. Because this is after you get slain. This is your spiritual condition after you die. And look what it states. Enemy shall take enemy in what? These heavens. Ain't Esau an enemy to you, Israel? And ain't Israel is an enemy to Esau and back and forth? See that? These is your conditions if you want to play the tribal warfare games. If you want to play the I hate Esau and Esau hate you games. Instead of being the bigger person and get out the whole equation of warfare, period. An enemy shall take enemies in these heavens and cast them into places of torment, which they shall have built. and they shall not know peace or wisdom. That's your spiritual atrocity on both sides of the fence. You may up one time and he may come back and get up on you next time. That's how it works in the spiritual world when you're dealing with false gods and warfare. Read the book of Wars Against Jehovah, and you're going to see how they get down. You're going to see how these false gods get down. And all the characteristics of the false gods is found in your Bible. I'm a God of war, a God of destruction. I'm an angry and jealous God. All that are tendencies from the false gods. Now, once do you see that tendency coming from true God in the OAHSPE? You dig? Vibes. Oh, wow. Yes, indeed, yeah. It's deep, man. It gets deep. That's why the Creator, through true God, say, yo, don't war. Thou shalt not murder and kill. The reason the Creator said, and true God said, thou shalt not murder and kill, is because spiritual retaliation. So if you kill a man, you have to deal with that man directly. Ain't no God coming to interview. You got to deal with that. If you get into an altercation, a fight, you dealing with that. You can call the police, they can come for a minute, but they got to leave and you back dealing with the situation. So the OAHSPE shows you the accountability and responsibility that one has to deal with by injuring another human being. So if you're following the God that's telling you to go to warfare, you don't understand the spiritual atrocity being done spiritually after battle. Your God didn't tell you about the consequences or the spiritual conditions after battle spiritually. When you read the Bible, 2,000 men died. The next day, so the niggas died and they just forget them and let's move on. No, what about their spirit? That's 2,000 spirits in the spiritual world that got slain in warfare. But your God didn't tell you about the nature of the spiritual conditions. That's why having an open mind and receiving information is important. Because if you understood the nature of the spirits of the dead in warfare, you could end up like that. Y'all Israelite, look at IURC, the niggas in purple. Look how deep they are in the streets, yo. They marching down the streets in thousands. Now just imagine they go to war. Just imagine some a left coup, some European coup, some white supremacists decide we want to match that energy. And them niggas meet up and guns get the bucket. And it's an all-out brawl. Because you know them niggas in the Aishu, I'm sure they packing guns. Not Aishu people, but the purple boys. I'm sure they out there strapped up. Got permits for the carry. Same thing with the white boys. The skinheads. So you got the skinheads and the Israelites about a class. Jacob and Esau. And then it pop off. It really pop off. Bah, 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 niggas get to shooting. The white boys get to shooting. They get to shooting back. A couple of bodies, a couple of casualties drop. A couple of bodies fall. The niggas who died, they in spiritual chaos. They dying in the heat of passion. They dying in the suspense of fear, flight. All that's going on while you crossing over in spirit, trying to fight for a cause and a God that's not even real. That's why we go hard at what we do over here to create a gang and show you the detrimental danger of following a deity who's telling you it's okay to go to war, or who's telling you it's okay to slay infants, or just because it's in the book, you're going to believe it. That's how ignorant a lot of us have become. Oh, it's in the Bible. If it's in the Bible, if that's the word, nah, nigga, challenge the fucking book. What type of sucking nigga you is? You scared of a book? God ain't never come to you and say nothing to you and spoke to you face to face like Jacob, or spoke to you face to face like Moses. God ain't did you like that, nigga. You don't even know if God exists. Ain't nobody come tap you on the shoulder. You just woke up, grandma had the book, your mother had the book, your daddy had the book, you came up with the book. Now you found out you were Israelite. Mama, we the Israelites of the book, but you still bound to the book and bound to the false God. Talking about we the chosen of God. What God? Chosen to who? Come on, man. But that's a whole nother thing, you dig? You know what I mean? But yo, we're gonna sign out, y'all. I've been on here for a minute. I gotta go do some editing. Your boy never ends. I gotta get some finish brew some tea. Got some orders to ship out. It's a never-ending journey with your boy Salah Shalom doing the works of the Creator. You know what I mean? And with that, your boy Salah Shalom is about to sign out of here. Give me another one. Give me some vortex. Give me some vortices in the chat, man. Give me some vortices in the chat if you're feeling this vibe tonight. And with that, your boy Salah Shalom is up and out of here, family. We out of here, family. Salute. It's a blood clot vibe.